the box that she ends up receiving from his will. And he didn't explain shit to it. So, I mean, this is all a big mystery for now. Well, back at William's office, we go all the way back to the insurance guy now. Feels like we've had 10 flashbacks before then, right? It's now nighttime. And this guy's watching a news broadcast about Jigsaw's killings continuing despite the death of Jigsaw. And at this moment, the power goes off in the building, and he fucking freaks out. And he sees a shadowy figure moving across the office. So he grabs a fucking gun from his desk. I wonder how many insurance claims have been done because of people getting shot. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of amusing for an insurance guy to have a gun. But so he fucking hides under his desk, and he ambushes whoever the figure is, and he shoots him. And it's revealed that it's actually a security guard. And as William tries to keep him alive, the guard tries to point out that the actual Jigsaw pig mask person is actually behind him. And then he gets abducted by the pig mask person, which we would assume is Hoffman. Well, anyway, we now go to the reporter, Pamela, who's also abducted by Jigsaw after following Hoffman's lead to Jill's apartment. You know, she's in possession of the letter from Saw 3, written by Hoffman to Amanda, though the contents aren't revealed at this time. Jill says she doesn't know what it means, and Pamela's turned away. So she leaves the letter for Jill anyway, and she's abducted by Jigsaw as she tries to leave the building. Back to William now. He wakes up in a standing position, suspended by chains and held between two large blocks. Kind of like with a gas mask on, right? Isn't that what he's got on? Some sort of gas mask?
Yes.
It's weird.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now we don't just get Jigsaw explaining, we get John Kramer explaining. And I feel like this is an important distinction. You know what I'm saying? Because you can tell this is something that John Kramer wanted done, not something Hoffman's doing. I mean, he may be doing it for John Kramer, but that's the point. You know, it's not his own game. And, you know, we talked about that earlier, how he had some games left. Well, he explains that this guy's guilty of trying to decide who should live or die without regard for human life itself. And across from William is his janitor, who's strapped in an identical device. And William has a bomb strapped to each of his limbs, controlled by separate keys. And only by proceeding through his test within 1 hour will he receive the keys to release his limbs from the bombs. So Jigsaw also says that if he fails to do so, he'll never see his family again, implying that they're in danger. Which is important, because that's going to be another theme here, maybe a little bit of misdirection. But anyway, to obtain the first key, he has to survive his first test. After the tape ends, every breath that he takes will bring the stone blocks closer together, eventually crushing them through the rib cage. And the only way to escape is to outlast the other individual. So it's another, versus situation where it's him and the janitor, and it's a hold your breath contest. And the whole point of this is the janitor had like emphysema or some shit, and he could still continue to smoke. So Jigsaw's like, he doesn't appreciate his life. So despite William's best efforts to warn him, the janitor really can't hold his breath that well, and he gets crushed between the two blocks eventually, and it releases William. So he uses a key in the room to release one of his wrists from the bomb shackles and leaves through a ladder. Meanwhile, you've got a mother and a son who, by the way, you think are Williams, do you not? Like at this point in the movie? Victor? I think Victor's left us again. Well, anyway. The mother and son are trapped in a room with a vat of hydrofluoric acid linked to sprinklers and a switch that says live or die. And they receive no tape or message, but they can see a timer. So in another similar room, Pamela's trapped with a tape. The contents are not revealed in their entirety off the bat, but it appears that they will die if William fails to accomplish his tasks. So William goes into the room where he must grab two handles. Upon doing so, it's revealed that his file clerk, a young, healthy man with no family, and his secretary, who's a diabetic woman with a family, are being held on suspended platforms like barbed wire around their necks. So he has to let go of one handle and drop one of them to their deaths, or they'll both die. And this freaks him out, obviously, because the idea of murder and death is absolutely awful to him. But at the same time, this is what Jigsaw is saying to him, that, the woman's in worse shape than him, so technically you should save him. But which one are you going to save, the one with the family or the one without? So he has to make up his mind. as the handles begin to build more resistance, he actually has no choice but to let go of one of them, and his hand slips. So he chooses to hold on to the handle that saves the old woman, and the guy falls and swings hard against the wall to his death. So he chose to save the one that was in worse health, but that actually had a family. So William, he apologizes that he has to continue, and he tells her to be careful and, second key to free another arm. So now he's got 2 arms free, and now he's on his way to the next test. So William now has flashbacks to due to these messages left under his shackles. The first is regarding a party that he met John Kramer at. John and William actually discuss the similarities of their jobs, where William chooses who lives or dies based on the formula he created for profitability, where John gives him shit for not taking into account the individual's desire to live. Sorry, I'm drunk. Let me take a drink here. Not sure that's going to help anything. Anyway, so the next flashback is actually regarding a final decision show where John shows up at William's office, talking about how his insurance coverage denied him treatment because it's like out-of-network type bullshit. It's an experimental treatment using gene therapy that could save his life. William denies him for it being unprofitable, and John's pissed off that William will allow him to die. So calling him out on his lack of morality and the faults of the healthcare system, and telling him that if he thinks that he'll not be judged by the living and dead, he'll be proven wrong. So William then enters a room filled with steam. Victor, you're back now. Question for you. Victor, are you back?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. So, the kid and the woman, did you assume this was William's kid and wife at this point in the movie, like, midway through? The ones that are in the cage, basically?
Yes.
I mean, I know we're going to get a swerve later, and if you haven't seen Saw 6, then you're fucking up because you're listening to a show about Saw 6. But anyway, if this swerve, they all swerve me. I never fucking see any of this coming. Because there's too much going on to think about it. So, plus they don't even let you know.
Yeah, they're good with that.
All right. Yep. So William enters this room filled with steam, and below him, trapped in a maze, is his legal counsel, who's fucking hot, but she doesn't look too hot right here, who is from the beginning of the movie, and she's got a device on her neck that'll kill her unless she makes it through to the other side. And she can only do this if William opens up steam valves to allow her passage. And every time he opens one of these, it actually directs steam to harm him. So he could merely pass and just let her die, but he wants to help her. So he calms her down and he guides her through the maze. He takes blasts of steam to the face for her, and she gets through. And once she gets through, though, there's no key to release her neck trap. Instead, she's provided with a power saw and an X-ray showing the key is actually inside a suture made on William's body. So automatically, you get the idea of the guy that has the fucking key behind his eye from Saw 2, I want to say. Or maybe it was Saw. Either way, fuck that. I would die. Like I said. You're not cutting into me. God damn. You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
Yeah, man. It's fucking crazy.
So William tells her he's going to get it out for her, right? I mean, it appears the stitches are fresh, and he could probably get it out pretty easily at least. But, she freaks out, and she panics, and she rushes him with the power saw. She's going to fucking cut him open herself. And, yeah, she's not fucking around because she's a woman, and those bitches are crazy. Sorry, women. Anyway, he tries to stop her, but, she's not going to be stopped. She's fucking fighting. So he fights back long enough for her timer to spring, and the trap on her neck penetrates her skull and kills her. So another, you get a kill, but it's nothing special. These traps aren't anything spectacular just yet. It's more so that's part of the game that's the nastier part of this. Would you agree? Like in Saw 6 so far, it's not so much the traps that are so vicious, it's the game itself. Like this dude having to get key out of his own body. Pretty fun. Well, Vic's gone. Anyway. Oh, my goodness. So William takes another key, and he frees his third shackled limb. And at the site of the game, Hoffman's watching from his viewing area, but he's called away by the agents, Erickson and Perez. So we've got Mexicool and Major Dad. Victor, question for you. Up to this point in the movie, do you think, like I said earlier, that the fucking game is more disgusting than the actual traps so far? Like, the people that get killed by the traps, they're not so bad.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The game
seems
is just...
to be what I've noticed. Yeah. You got to go through some shit here. And I think that's actually probably true in the next one, too, but we'll get there in a bit. So anyway, this guy now, he goes to... or Hoffman goes to Erickson and Perez. They found evidence based on the tape made by Hoffman at Seth Baxter's trap and need him right away. So Hoffman leaves the site of the game and goes to investigate. And when he arrives, he finds that they're about to break the distortion on the tape, to figure out whose voice it is. And Erickson and Perez begin to lay into Hoffman about the Stramish jigsaw theory and begin to aggressively lay out evidence. As the sound technician finishes up analysis on the data, Vic, I shouldn't be able to pronounce some of the words I am right now. It's amazing. Anyway, so as she comes up with Hoffman's voice, Hoffman cuts the power to the room. And this is when he turns into a slasher, does he not? This motherfucker goes Rambo on everybody. He fucking slashes Erickson across the throat and kills the sound technician. Then he corners Perez and stabs her repeatedly, demanding to know who else knows the secret. And she says everyone knows, and then she fucking dies, and he calls her a liar. So with so much evidence and all this bullshit, Hoffman leaves Stram prints using the frozen hand and douses the lab in gasoline, setting it on fire. And then he heads back towards the scene of the game. Hoffman is a bad motherfucker, isn't he?
Hell yeah. I mean, he's been a bad motherfucker trying to get, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, they got this motherfucker cornered. He's done. And he just goes apeshit on everybody and wipes them all out. It is fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he goes Rambo. Yeah. And you kind of think Hoffman, you don't know how tough he is because he kind of let Stram kick his ass, but it was just to get Stram killed. So, I mean, this motherfucker, he's pretty smart. Like, you wouldn't think he'd be as smart as he is. Now, granted, I will say in, like, part 6 and 7, I feel like we're really escaping reality at this point. Like, some of these things that happen, it's like, it's fucking impossible. But, I'm willing to roll with it. He's fucking awesome. So, we get William again, this douchebag insurance guy. He enters his last trap now. And he's trying to be real careful, and he learns the next trap actually contains his entire investigative claims team. Vic, I remember seeing this in the previews, and I think it panned out pretty well. Again, this one is not about the deaths so much as it's just kind of a cool fucking visual. You know what I'm saying? This is where the claims team, the dog pit, they're all 6 of them are strapped to a rotating carousel.
Yes.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful. Yes.
It was amazing.
It was, man. It's just, this is what separates Jigsaw from everybody else because it's all about ingenuity and just originality. It's not about one guy, snatching somebody up and beating them to death, which is always fun. I'm not criticizing that, but it's cool to see the nice little things that they come up with for us. I mean, your imagination's the limit. So they've got a shotgun mounted to the carousel, and it'll kill them one by one unless William intervenes by pressing a button, which will stab him. Which, that fucking sucks, you know what I'm saying? To save them, you gotta get stabbed.
Oh, so my God. What would you do?
I could take the stab. I'd be all right. Well, I don't know. Do I like these people? It depends.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, it depends on who's up there.
If it was people in my work, I might save 1 or 2 of them. But so, I guess that's about right. But it depends. Where am I getting stabbed? You know what I'm saying? You're going to stab me in the gut, you're all dead. Fuck off. I save my friends, but not these cocksuckers.
Exactly, man.
Fuck them. Anyway, so no matter what, here's the deal. 4 will die. And I feel like it's the fog. 4 will die. And he has to choose who's going to die. So now he is deciding who lives and dies, just like Jigsaw said. So his team, I love these fucking scenes, dude. I think they're awesome, where the people are all fighting with each other. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. They're all fighting among each other, blaming each other. So one's saying she's pregnant. They're all giving reasons why they should live or die. And one's saying that, like, his family's loaded. And by the way, that was the dude from fucking Cosby Family. Did you notice that?
Was it really?
Yeah, the black dude. That was Jamel or whatever the fuck his name was.
Jamal Michael Warner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. Yeah. Am I on Martian Warner? I don't know.